3 months ago, in a special video about Paris Saint-Germain's summer plans, we shed light on the candidates to leave the club in a list that included 12 prominent names, some of whom left later officially, while others are waiting to determine their fate. And today, after the vision becomes clearer with the arrival of Luis Enrique as a successor to Christophe Galtier, we will get to know the current situation of the club, as we will present the Summer Revolution of Paris, the latest names to leave, and the list of potential deals. The departed. The official departures left Lionel Messi to join Inter Miami, as did Sergio Ramos, who left the team after the end of his contract amid news of his proximity to Inter Miami, as well as Eric Dier, who moved to Eintracht Frankfurt after playing with him for a season on loan, where the German club activated the purchase option in the contract of the 22-year-old for €6.5 million. Pending departure and different plans after the end of the loan of Icardi, Draxler, Paredes, Wijnaldum, Kurzawa, Abdou Diallo, Navas, and their return to Paris. The latter has a plan to sell some of them and keep others. He seeks to sell Icardi, 33, who is interested in the Saudi youth and his compatriot Al Hilal, as is the case with Paredes, the 29-year-old who is wanted by Galatasaray, and Navas, 36, who is watched by Inter Milan, along with Draxler, 29, and Kurzawa, 30, who the club seeks to find a way out for. In the meantime, there is a tendency to keep Wijnaldum and Diallo. This is regarding those who returned from the loan. As for others who were present last season with the team, the young defender may be loaned out. Any offers submitted for Renato Sanchez, Carlos Soler, and Bernat, and if one of Ruiz, Vitinha, or Hakimi receives an attractive offer, the club will not hesitate to release him, but selling them is not a priority. The Moroccan defender is especially interested in Manchester City to compensate for the possible departure of Walker. Neymar Jr. Since the beginning of the summer transfer window, the star of Samba did not deviate from the plans of selling within the corridors of the Parisian club, as many news circulated about a possible move to Newcastle with Chelsea appearing on the scene, as well as Catalan newspapers talked about the possibility of his return to Barcelona, but on loan due to the financial conditions of the club, before Xavi denied this news, confirming that the Brazilian is out of his plans. Recently, many Saudi reports confirmed Al Hilal's contact with the player with a huge offer. It is estimated at €200 million as an annual salary, with the leaders of Al Zaim receiving a positive reaction from him, and although some French newspapers pointed to the possibility of changing the position of the 31-year-old, with the existence of opportunities to keep him after the arrival of Enrique, who excelled under his leadership in Camino, the newspaper AS confirmed that the club is still planning to sell him and is waiting for a suitable offer. Kylian Mbappe. The percentage of the departure of the French star from the Prince's Park this summer has become very large, especially after the player came out to confirm a few weeks ago that he will not renew his contract, which ends in the summer of 2024, but his intention to stay until the end of it angered the Parisian administration, so he came out a few days ago. President Nasser Al-Khelaifi made strong statements, putting Mbappe in front of only two options: either renew now or leave, because he will not allow the loss of the best player in the world for free, as he described, and he also gave Kylian a 2-week deadline to make his final decision. And consistent reports confirm that Paris Saint-Germain wants to get €200 million to get rid of its jewel, at a time when the latter is linked, as is known, to move to his childhood dream, Real Madrid. However, the merengue has not yet taken any official steps with its Parisian counterpart, contenting itself with contacting the player and his surroundings, according to some sources, with news of following a policy of waiting until near the end of the transfer window, so that Paris does not find an escape from reducing its demands to complete the sale instead of losing the player for free after that. There was also talk of no intention on the part of the Royal to move unless Mbappe took as announcing his desire explicitly to leave for his ranks this summer without forgetting also what was raised about Liverpool's attempt to offer €200 million recently to snatch the player. Paris Saint-Germain announced its free signing of Slovakian Milan Skriniar and Spanish Marco Asensio, 27, after the end of the former's contract with Inter Milan and the end of the latter's link with Real Madrid. Paris Saint-Germain also announced its signing of Uruguayan midfielder Manuel Ugarte, 22, from Sport England Bona for €60 million, the value of the penalty clause in his contract. He will also be linked with a contract with the club until the summer of 2028 for €45 million, in addition to another €5 million as variables. Paris Saint-Germain got the signature of French defender 27 for 3 years from Bayern Munich. He also signed playmaker and winger Kang In Lee, 22, from Real Mallorca until the summer of 2027 for €22 million. And he won the signature of Italian midfielder Chirindor, 18, for free after the end of his contract with Benfica. Super striker Icardi and Mbappe on the verge of leaving, while Icardi did not show his ability to lead the Parisian attack line. Therefore, the club is looking for a clear striker from the elite and has put some options among them. Harry Kane, who seems closer to moving to Bayern Munich, but Paris Saint-Germain is monitoring the situation closely in case things change. And there is also Victor Osimhen, and it does not appeal to Paris management to exaggerate Napoli in its financial demands, where it was said that the southern club rejected an offer worth €100 million. The club's attention is currently directed towards John Caloramos, 22, who has a penalty clause in his contract with Benfica worth €120 million, but his club has expressed its readiness to sell for more than €60 million. There is also Colomouani, 24, who confirmed to Le Parisien newspaper that Paris Saint-Germain is ready to pay €80 million to Frankfurt for him. After Messi's departure, Paris Saint-Germain will try to strengthen its attack line with a new player to compensate for the flee. According to Le Parisien newspaper, the club is obsessed with the idea of signing Portuguese Bernardo Silva, but he is hampered by City's desire to keep the player. In addition to having the 28-year-old a huge offer from Al Hilal Saudi Arabia, the newspaper added that Paris Saint-Germain is monitoring €200 million to sign Silva alongside the striker deal. This is also the case for Egyptian Mohamed Salah, who is also on the club's radar as a possible option. In fact, SportZone website confirmed that Al-Khelaifi met with the player in Morocco recently on the sidelines of his attendance at the final of the African Champions League, coinciding with Salah's presence there to participate with the Pharaohs against Guinea, and asked him about his interest in playing for Paris as a substitute for Messi. But the 31-year-old was content to listen only to Al-Khelaifi's proposal without showing a final or decisive. Mbappe's replacement. If Paris Saint-Germain succeeds in signing a super striker and a substitute for Messi from the elite, it may be satisfied with that even in the event of Mbappe's departure, provided that Neymar stays with the presence of the new arrival Asensio. But it can also think of adding more quality and resorting to signing Mbappe's replacement if the opportunity is favorable, or to fill the gap if Neymar leaves in turn. Luis Enrique has his eye on Frenchman Ousmane Dembele, whose contract with Barcelona expires in the summer of 2024, but he has a penalty clause worth €50 million, which is an amount within the club's reach. Paris Saint-Germain also has other options in the winger position, such as Wilfried Zaha, Serge Gnabry, and Marcus Rashford, in addition to João Felix as an option with varied attacking roles, considering that he can play as a striker or a withdrawn striker or winger. Finally, what do you think, friends of Kosovo Sport, about Paris's moves this summer? Do you think that the club's options are suitable and will make the team stronger?